Hey guys, here is part 5 of What If Goku was a reincarnation of Majin Buu. So now, Champa then tells Beerus that this tournament will happen in the next one and a half months, as Champa says. Says to Beerus slyly that you're not the only ones with Saiyans, Beerus. As then, Champa then disappears back to his universe, which makes Goku and the other Saiyans curious on what the other Saiyans in his universe would be like. As now, they then set off to train for this next 1 month. The rules of this tournament are that basically each team will have 5 fighters, and basically, at the moment there are only 4, if I remember correctly, as it's Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, and Broly. So at this point, I'll say that Broly has literally mastered his legendary Super Saiyan state, as he's even dipping into the power of God Ki. As right now, he thinks that if he gets God Ki, he'll be somewhat of a match for Goku. So, Broly's next endeavor is working towards unlocking the Super Saiyan God transformation, as he's almost there, as he's been training with Whis for the last 2 months. As now, on top of this, at the moment, they realize that they need one more fighter, and Goku knows exactly where to go. So, right now I'm gonna go back a few years to when Goku killed Frieza, and Guru decided to repopulate planet Namek. So, Guru realized he had to do something about the fact that his fighters were relatively weak, as he realized that he would have to come up with a way to make them stronger. As basically, Guru and Mori managed to repopulate planet Namek with thousands of fighters, some of them more skilled than others, and on top of this, he made a hyperbolic time chamber. So some of these fighters, some of these fighters realized that they would not be strong enough by themselves, as they then decide to fuse into a warrior. As basically five of the strongest fighters of Namek fused into the most promising fighter that they had at the moment, which was a Namekian called Cargo. As basically Cargo is basically becomes really powerful, as he trains with Nail day and night in this time chamber for about basically the equivalent of 10 years to become as strong as possible. Using the Namekian Book of Legends, they realize that the Namekians have a lot of potential they can have, and as they're told about this God Ki ability, these Namekians work and they ask the dragon to grant them God Ki, as both Nail and Cargo get the ability of God Ki. While planet Namek has become a fruitful and quite strong planet, as they now have they have hundreds of thousands of Namekians, each of them with different skills. Some of them doctors, some of them warriors, others merchants that go to other planets, others are dragon clan Namekians that work on the Dragon Balls and all that. And they have made a thriving society which has a lot of technology and is really good. As basically Kami even talks to these manages to contact planet Namek, as Guru had an initiative where he wanted to contact every Namekian that was left in the universe to help them out and to spread the good that the Namekians have done throughout the universe. As they then managed to get into contact with Kami, who tells them how King Piccolo took over planet Earth, and everyone was a slave of King Piccolo. As Guru knows exactly what to do, as Guru then sends Nail and Cargo to planet Earth, to which they defeat King Piccolo, and Kami then decides to fuse with Piccolo. As Kami is then taught how to purify his heart through meditation and hard effort, as Kami fuses with Piccolo, then purifies his heart, which allows him to be the guardian of planet Earth while having ginormous power. On top of this, Kami wishes for his youth, leading to planet Earth being watched by a really powerful Namekian. So Kami then decides to train humans to become really powerful, as basically Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and everyone else becomes really powerful on planet Earth. While they're not strong enough, they're not as strong as the Namekians on planet Namek, they're really strong in their own right. That's basically how planet Earth got back to normal, and they lived in a peaceful time. As basically Kami even had a son who would work to be the strength of the planet, as his son was even stronger than him and made sure that planet Earth was always safe with the other humans, basically. So that's how Earth basically ended up peaceful, since no threat really wanted to come to planet Earth anyway, and they maintained peace. So now Goku visits Namek, and he greets everyone who he knew before, as they're really happy to see him, and they ask what favor Goku needs, as Goku explains how they have a tournament and they need a really powerful fighter, as they know what to do. As basically Nail and Cargo walk up to Goku and say, we're not even anywhere close to you yet, Goku. Like, we have God Key, but it's not as powerful yet, as we have not fully unlocked our potential. As they then ask Old Kai if he could help them unlock their potential, to which Old Kai says, of course. As basically the Old Kai unlocks, basically says, but we're out of time. We can't do this right now. As basically Nail and Kogo realize that they're going to have to become really strong really quickly, and there's only one fighter left, as they decide to fuse, as Goku knows full spirit fission and can easily separate them again. So Nail and Kogo then fuse into one being, as this is the fifth fighter they have for this tournament. And I know you guys would think that basically I'm making them too overkill. Like, Universe 7 is so overkill compared to Universe 6. But now, let's cut to Universe 6 and see what Champa had done after realizing how strong Universe 7 had become. We see Champa collect the strongest fighters that he can find from Universe 6. He finds Frost, and he finds Hit first of all. And he says, you two are powerful, but I don't think we've hit the full capabilities of what we can achieve. First of all, the race with the most potential is the Saiyans. As he says, let me go and find the Saiyan with the most ability, as he finds Cabba. As then Champa says, Cabba, I need you to find me 2 other Saiyans or else you're dead meat. As Cabba then finds Caulifla and Kale. As Champa then looks at all 5 of his fighters and says, You'd be strong ordinarily, but now we are in dire need of power, as I am going to train you harder than you guys have ever trained before, and some of you guys have never even trained before, but I will push you to your limit and you will come back stronger. As now, Champa takes them into a time chamber with Vados, as they go through the equivalent of 5 years of training. As now, when their team steps out, they are a whole new level of beasts. Like, this is a whole new team. As we see, first of all, Frost. Frost is the same race as Frieza, and Frieza in 4 months managed to get the golden form, which was a challenge for Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta in Dragon Ball Super. Well, now, just imagine this. What happened in these 4 years is basically, after Frost reached a certain level, which is after Frost became 10 times stronger than what normal Frieza was able to do, Champa then said to Frost that his training is finished, as basically Frost is also very cocky, as Frost then ended his training after this period of time, as basically Frost became really powerful, 10 times stronger than Golden Frieza. On top of this, now they focus on Hit. Hit at this point was as strong as Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku, and Hit had the power of improvement. And Champa realized that Hit had the potential to be the secret weapon of the team, as Champa then focuses on Hit for a while, as he then puts Hit through the most painful training of Hit's life, as Champa basically, since Hit has the power of improvement, meaning the stronger his enemy is, the stronger he becomes, Champa gradually used more and more of his power to beat down Hit and heal him up. For the span of 1.5 years of constant beating of Hit, as Hit is basically conditioned to become more powerful and more powerful until he's basically a match for Champa. As Hit says, "Thank you so much, Champa, for bringing me to this level." As basically Hit and Champa realizes that Hit is becoming more powerful than him. So Champa also loses all his weight and continues training, as he realizes that he has to be as fit as possible to make sure that none of his own warriors kill him before even the tournament even begins. As he then basically now Champa is about the same, is training the same way Beerus did. So Beerus is now more powerful, and so is Champa. So Hit right now is as strong as Beerus was when he fought against Goku earlier in the part. Now on top of this, we now see the 3 Saiyans as Champa and Vados then make sure they all train until they get the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. And they see how Kale has the legendary Super Saiyan state that Broly has, as they then push her more and more until she gets Super Saiyan God plus the legendary Super Saiyan state, making her have the legendary Super Saiyan God transformation. As now the team is set many times stronger than usual, as they now set out to this tournament. So now the fight has been set. We now see our first fighter step in the ring, which is this Namekian versus Frost, the fusion of Nail and Cargo versus Frost. And in basically Frost is in his base form at the moment, like his first form, as Frost is, and the Namekian is beating Frost quite well. As Frost then says, I've now seen how strong you are, as I think I'll be able to beat you now. As the Namekian realizes that Frost has more forms, as the Namekian says, "Go to your final form right now, or else I'll vanquish you." As Frost then says, "As you wish." As Frost then goes to his final form, as basically the Namekian and Frost start battling. But Frost, even in this form, is more powerful than Namekian, as basically this Namekian gets knocked out, as the fusion between Cargo and Nail is not enough to defeat Frost. Since basically this fusion, since Frost is basically 10 times Golden Freezer. So now the next battle begins, and Frost is first of all, they realize that Frost is a bad person, as the next fighter who steps out is Vegeta. As Vegeta says, I will not let this Freezer of Universe 6 move any longer, as he's a disgust to my face. As Vegeta then says, "Behold my power." As Vegeta had trained his Super Saiyan Blue state even more, as he realizes that to beat Goku, he has to go further and further. As he then shows the result of his training with Beerus, as he then gets a dark blue aura surround him as he reaches the Super Saiyan Blue evolution state, as this form is many times stronger than the original Super Saiyan Blue transformation. As Vegeta then says, I'm gonna go all out with you, as I hate you so much. As Frost then says, hoo, if only this was my final form, which shocks everyone around him. As Frost says, it seemed like your equivalent of me never accessed their full capacity. Well, look what I achieved through training with my destroyer. As Frost then has a golden light illuminate his body. As now he reaches golden frost. As now this fight just got a whole lot harder. So the fight goes on, and it's a tough one to beat, as none of them is letting up. But Vegeta's drive and resolve pushes him further, as Vegeta is at Super Saiyan Blue evolution, which is about 20 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue, which means that Vegeta is more powerful than Frost, as Frost gets knocked out of the ring. And Vegeta hates Frost, so he even makes sure to break a few of Frost's bones, as Frost is eliminated from the battle. Next is the next fight basically is Vegeta versus Cabba. As Cabba then says, that's a nice form, Vegeta. How did you achieve it? As Vegeta then decides to show Cabba how strong he can become, as Vegeta wants to see the capacities of the Saiyans. So Vegeta decides to push Cabba as far as he can, as he realizes that Cabba is a good guy, so he's gonna give Cabba a good fight. As basically Vegeta and Cabba, Vegeta beats up Cabba, as Vegeta then says, I'm going to kill everyone that you love and destroy them. As Cabba right now is in the Super Saiyan Blue state, but he has to push on and evolve his form, as he thinks of everyone he cares about, his family, his friends, his planet, and he has to protect them, as he then shouts out and roars as he reaches this form of Super Saiyan Blue evolution. As now Vegeta and Cabba have a fight of equal forms, as now Vegeta and Cabba have a very dramatic fight, none of them willing to let up, none of them willing to give up, as it ends in one final blast, as Vegeta launches his final flash, as Cabba launches his own blast to match it. And at the end of the fight, both of them are left on the ground, knocked out and out of energy. As they then say, this match was a draw, as Cabba calls Vegeta his master for teaching him how to push through his limits. And Vegeta is happy that Cabba is a very good pupil. The next fight is then decided, as it is Raditz versus Cauliflower. And Raditz had finally unlocked the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. And on top of this, he had the mystic form. As basically at this moment, Raditz had not fully combined them, as basically Raditz wanted to push his Super Saiyan Blue state further than usual. As now this fight is quite an interesting one, as basically Raditz has the power advantage. Like it's not even funny. He has Super Saiyan Blue. On top of this, he has the mystic form, and due to the way the mystic form works, he's able to combine them. As now Raditz reaches mystic blue, as then he simply basically he easily knocks out Cauliflower from the ring. Okay, not easily per se, but really with relatively little effort. And Cauliflower is angered by the fact that she was knocked out so easily, and this makes Kale angry, as Kale realizes her friend Cauliflower was angered and disappointed by the fact that she was treated like a minor character, like basically she had no strength. As Kale gets angry by this and vows to beat her next enemy. As now Raditz goes against Kale and sees Kale is not as confident as Cauliflower. As Raditz thinks that this is gonna be an easy fight. As Raditz then smirks and says, "Alright, give me what you got." As Kale then gets angry and says, "I will defeat you for Cauliflower." As Kale then shocks everyone in the ring, as her hair then becomes a dark shade of green, as she reaches her legendary Super Saiyan state. And if that is not enough, she then tacks on the Super Saiyan God transformation, reaching the legendary Super Saiyan God with a dark blue. Basically, it's a mix of green and blue, as this form is super strong. As Raditz basically Raditz cannot compete, as Raditz is then knocked down and basically thrown out of the ring in a fashion as Kale decides to spare nothing. Like, she does not spare Raditz, as Raditz is beaten and battered to the ground. As the next fight is then Broly versus Kale, as Broly is impressed that there's someone out there with the same power as him, as Broly decides to test out how strong Kale actually is, as Broly then reaches his legendary Super Saiyan, and Kale is in her legendary Super Saiyan God, and Kale has the advantage, as basically Broly hasn't mixed his Super Saiyan God power in with his form yet, as Kale then says, "Are you weak or something? Why can't you mix your God Ki in?" As Broly says, "It's not something I can do right now. I need a push. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm almost there though. Give me time." As Kale then says, "I spare no time for weaklings." As basically she knocks Broly down, injuring him a lot. As Broly then says, "I have to do this. Everyone has put in so much effort into me, and they treated me like a friend." As Broly then charges up and calms down, as that was Broly's issue. Broly had so much anger from a child that he could not understand how the calmness of Super Saiyan God could work with his form. As basically Broly then accepts that everything that happened to him, and he realized that now he has the opportunity to become a strong fighter. As a light sprouts through the arena, as we see Broly combining his legendary Super Saiyan with that of Super Saiyan God. And due to the fact that Broly had been training with Goku, this Broly surpassing Kale. As Kale and against Broly is a fight that lights up the stadium, as these large bulking powers clash against one another. As then, at the end of the fight, Kale is left on the ground out of energy. Broly manages to win, as everyone is proud of Broly and the progress he has made, as he was once an uncontrollable monster, but now he's a man who fights for his universe and has calmed his rage. As now, the final fight is then announced, as they then say, our next competition will be between between Broly and Hit, as Broly steps on the ring, as Hit then says, "Don't waste my time." As Broly says, "Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you are?" As Hit then says, "Well, you're not even who I want to fight. I want to fight that man there named Goku." As Broly then says, "You're gonna have to go through me first." As Hit then says, "Let's make this quick." As Broly then launches blasts at Hit and tries hitting him, but none of them even manage to land. As Hit then looks at Broly and just blinks. Basically, Hit says, "Time skip." And as no one could see what was going on, as Hit stopped time, basically, Hit slowing time to a fraction of its speed, damages Broly and leaves him on the ground, passed out, as everyone does not know what happened. As 1 second Broly was standing and the next he was on the ground. As Hit then says, "Behold the power of the time skip." As after this, they then announce the next fight, as now it is Goku versus Hit. So this I will leave to the next part, as I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and have a good day, as the next part will be coming out really soon.